Very good morning, children. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we learn about the chapter 4 quadratic equations. Okay, chapter 4 quadratic equations. Before studying quadratic equations, first you should have an idea of what do you mean by equation. First you have to learn what is equation. Okay, try to understand what do you mean by equation. Equation. What do you mean by equation? Equality of two algebraic expressions. Equality of two algebraic expressions is known as an equation. See here, x plus 4, it is one expression, right? X plus 4 is one expression. Say 16 is another expression. If both these two expressions are equal, we say that it is an equation. Equality of two algebraic expressions is known as an equation. Okay, x plus 4 is one expression, 16 is another expression, both the expressions are equal, that's why we say that it is an equation. Okay, now there is one more equation. See here, x square minus 36 is equal to 0. It is also an equation. X square minus 36 equal to 0. X square minus 36, it is one expression, 0 is another expression, both the expressions are equal, that's why we say that it's an equation. Now here you observe both the expressions, right? In this equation, how many variables are there? In this equation, how many variables are there? That is only one variable. Here also we have only one variable, right? In this equation, what is the highest power of the variable? Highest power of the variable is 1. And here, highest power of the variable is 2. If the highest power of the variable is 1, it is called linear equation. If the highest power of the variable is 1, it is called linear equation, right? And if the highest power of the variable is 2, if the highest power of the variable is 2, then it is called quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. If the highest power of the variable is 1, it is called a linear equation. If the highest power of the variable is 2, it is called a quadratic equation. Understand, children, what is equation? There are two types of equations here. One is linear equation and another is quadratic equation. If the highest power of the variable is 2, it is called quadratic equation. If the highest power of the variable is 1, it is called a linear equation. Right? Now, I will solve these equations. Okay? I will solve this equation. Try to understand how I am solving. Right? How I am solving, you try to understand here. Observe here. X plus 4 is equal to 16. X plus 4 is equal to 16. Right? Now, plus 4 I will take that side. X equal to 16 minus 4. I will take this plus 4 to RHS, then it becomes x equal to 16 minus 4, right? 16 minus 4 is how much? It is 12. X equal to 12. This x equal to 12, it is called solution of the equation, or it is also known as root of an equation. Solution is called a root of an equation. Solution is also known as root of equation. And here, I will solve this x square minus 36 equal to 0. Now what I will do? Minus 36 I will take to RHS. Then it becomes x square is equal to 36. And while solving any quadratic equation, to remove this square, the number you have to put into the square root and you have to take a plus or minus sign. Then it becomes x equal to plus or minus root 36. Right? X equal to plus or minus 6. X equal to plus or minus 6. Here we have got two roots, x equal to 6 or x equal to minus 6. X equal to 6 or x equal to minus 6, these are the two roots of the quadratic equation. And children, by this we can conclude that linear equation has one root and quadratic equation has two roots. Once again, I will define here what do you mean by linear equation. What is the difference between linear equation and quadratic equation? An equation involving a variable whose highest power is 1 is called linear equation, and linear equation has one root, right? An equation involving a variable whose highest power is 2 is called as quadratic equation, and quadratic equation has two roots. This is the difference between linear and quadratic, right? Okay. Yes, children. Now we observe here. I will write two equations. One is 2x square minus 8x is equal to 0. 2x square minus 8x equal to 0, and one more is x square minus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. x square minus 8, x square minus 8 equal to 0, and one more equation is x square minus 12, x square minus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. Now you observe these two equations here. Okay, in this equation how many variables are there? There is only one variable, that is x. Here also we have only one variable, that is x. And here what is the difference between these two equations? Here equation involving a variable is only 2, highest power is only 2. Here power is 2 as well as power is 1. Here power is only 2, here power is 2 as well as power is 1. Okay, both are quadratic equation. Why? Because both are having highest power 2. It is also quadratic equation, it is also quadratic equation. Here we have power only 2, and here we have power 2 as well as power 1. Okay, an equation involving a variable with power only 2, it is called pure quadratic equation. If the power is only 2, it is called a pure quadratic equation. Here power 2 as well as power 1. If power is 2 as well as power 1, then it is called unaffected quadratic equation. Unaffected quadratic equation. In quadratic equation there are two types. One is pure quadratic and another is unaffected quadratic equation. Right? Now in another way we can define here as a pure quadratic and unaffected quadratic, an equation which can be expressed in the form ax square plus c equal to 0. An equation which can be expressed in the form ax square plus c equal to 0, where a comma c belongs to R and a not equal to 0. A not equal to 0. A and c must be real numbers. A should not be equal to 0. Then equation of the form ax square plus c equal to 0 is called a pure quadratic equation. And here an equation which can be expressed in the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. An equation which can be expressed in the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is known as unaffected quadratic equation, where a, b and c are any real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. A should not be equal to 0, a, b, c must be real numbers. Then equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is known as unaffected quadratic equation. Right? Now this 2x square minus 8 equal to 0 can also be written as 2x square plus 0x minus 8 equal to 0. 2x square minus 8 can also be written as 2x square plus 0x minus 8 equal to 0. Even children, pure quadratic equation can also be written in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Pure quadratic equation can also be expressed in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. That's why in generally the standard form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. In generally the standard form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Finally you can conclude that the standard form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. If it is particularly power is only 2, you can say pure quadratic. If it is power 2 as well as power 1, we can say that unaffected quadratic equation. It may be pure quadratic or it may be unaffected quadratic. Both can be expressed in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Hence, the standard form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This you have to remember here. Okay, we'll solve the problems based on this, right? Okay. Yes, children. Now we learn how to solve the quadratic equation by factorization method. solution of a quadratic equation by factorization method. Before studying this concept, you should have an idea of zero product rule. What do you mean by zero product rule? Right? First we learn how to solve this quadratic equation. Before that, we learn what do you mean by zero product rule. What do you mean by this zero product rule? Try to understand. If A and B are any two factors, 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 suppose if A into B is equal to 0, if A into B is equal to 0, then either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. If A into B is equal to 0, then either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. If A into B is equal to 0, then either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. This is called zero product rule. While solving quadratic equation by factorization method, you have to apply the zero product rule and you have to find the roots of the quadratic equation. Right? Now, I will apply zero product rule and I will show you how to solve the quadratic equation by factorization method. I will take one example and I'll explain you. Right? Let us take one example here. Example 1. Example 1. Find the roots of the quadratic equation. Find the roots of the quadratic equation x square minus 7x plus 12 equal to 0 by factorization method. By factorization method. Okay, let us find the roots of the quadratic equation x square minus 7x plus 12 equal to 0 by factorization method. See how I am doing this one. I will take the equation x square minus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. How to find the roots over here? Okay, you already familiar with that. Whenever it is quadratic trinomial, you have to split the middle term. By splitting the middle term, we can factorize it. See how I am doing. Here, coefficient of x square is 1, last term is 12. Coefficient of x square is 1 and last term is 12. Coefficient of yes student. Now we learn exercise 4.2 first main. Solve the following quadratic equation by factorization method. This is the first question, right? Under that first one, x square minus 3x minus 10 equal to 0. Just now I shown you how to find the roots here. Coefficient of x square is 1, last term is minus 10. 1 into minus 10 is minus 10. Product should be minus 10, sum should be minus 3. Like that you have to split that minus 10, right? I will split it as 5 2s are 10. 5 2s are 10. What is the middle factor sign here? Minus. Greater integer, minus. Minus into minus it is plus. Just now I told you how to take the sign here. Okay. Now, we split this minus 3x as minus 5x plus 2x. X square minus 5x plus 2x minus 10 equal to 0. Right? Group them into 2 and take common here. Take x common, we get x minus 5. Here if I take 2 common, we get x minus 5 equal to 0. Right? One factor is x minus 5, another factor is x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now we have got two factors here. One is x minus 5, another is x plus 2 equal to 0. Apply the zero product rule over here and find the roots. X minus 5 equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. Minus 5 you take to RHS, x equal to 5. X equal to 5 or x equal to minus 2. X equal to 5 or x equal to minus 2. These are the two roots of the quadratic equation. Right? ಆಗಲೇ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ನೀವು ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ರೈಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮಯ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಸಹಿತ ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷನಾದ್ರೂ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಬೇಡ? ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ 5 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಿಮ್ಗ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅದಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಸೈನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾವ? ರೂಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾವ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 5 ಆತ, ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು -2. ಈ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಸೈನ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೈನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗ ರೂಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾವ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಅದು ಹಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ದಾಗ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. 2x² plus x minus 6 equal to 0. See here how I am finding the roots here. Coefficient of x² is 2. Last term is -6. 2 into -6. 2 into -6 it is -12. Here product should be -12. Sum should be middle term coefficient, that is 1. Like that you have to split that -12. See how I am splitting. 4 3s are 12. 4 3s are 12. What is the middle factor sign here? Plus. So greater integer plus. Plus into minus it is minus. Plus 4 into -3 -12. Plus 4 -3 is +1. Right? This is how you have to take the sign. You never get confused, children, here. Okay. Now see how I'm solving. 2x². I'll split this plus 1x as plus 4x and minus 3x. 2x² plus 4x minus 3x minus 6 equal to 0. Right? And group them into 2. What is common here? 2x is common. If I take 2x common, we get x plus 2. And here if I take -3 common, we get x plus 2 is equal to 0. Altogetherly common is what here? X plus 2. Another factor is 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. One factor is x plus 2, another factor is 2x minus 3. But we got the two factors. We need to find the roots of the quadratic equation. For that you have to apply the zero product rule to find the roots. Therefore, x plus 2 is equal to 0 or 2x minus 3 equal to 0. Plus 2 you take that side. X equal to -2. X equal to -2 or -3 if you take to RHS it becomes plus 2x equal to 3. Therefore, x equal to 3 by 2. X equal to -2. X equal to 3 by 2. These are the two roots of the quadratic equation. Okay. Now here one ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಗ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರ ಸೈನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾವ ಅಂತ ಆಗ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೈತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ರೂಟ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ +4 -3 ಇದ್ರ ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು? ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಇವ -4 +3 ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಇವು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ನಮಗ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬಂತು ನೋಡ್ರಿ, -2 3/2. ಹಂಗಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಯ್ತು? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಸಮ್ ಒಳಗ x² ಏನು ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. x² ಏನು ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ x² ಏನೈತಿ? ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ 2 ಐತಿ. ಹಿಂಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಇಲ್ಲೇನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. 2 1s 2 2s. ಇದನ್ನ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಂಗ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಹಂಗಾರೆ x ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಏನತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ? -2 or x ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 3/2. ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಹಂಗಾರೆ x ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು -2 or x ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 3/2 ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅದು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ದ ನಿಮ್ಗ ರೂಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾವ. ಈಗ ಎರಡ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಎರಡರಾಗ ಒಂದೇ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಹೌದಿಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ಎರಡೂನು ಹೇಳೇನ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಇದು ಈ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ನೀವು ಫರ್ದರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ ರೈಟ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.